In this video, we're going to be checking out the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse. This is the Ares Wave Wonder Woman's Steve Trevor. Let's first look at the components that we get for Ares. We get a torso, as well as a head and a sword. Torso has some nice paintwork continuing on that kind of bluish metallic silver that they used in the arms and the legs. Comes with a head, which we can go ahead and put on just now. We don't have to really wait for the other pieces. I know I like to do that. I like to put the head on last, but we'll do it differently in this review. Beautiful looking paint though on the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt's also done nicely, mostly being the crown, the helmet that he's wearing. And then we can also go ahead and put the arm in, which we will just bring the hinge around. There we go. And we want to attach it into the socket. It's a little harder because the shoulder pads are in the way. Luckily, the shoulder pads are rubber, so at least it's not too much of a hindrance. And there's what we have so far. We also have the leg from Wonder Woman, but there's not really much we can do with that just yet. Still have to pick up Queen Hippolyta, so I'm going to obviously be missing, I think, an arm and the other leg, the other arm, because I think the other Wonder Woman's going to have the lower waist portion. But while we're at it, let's go ahead and add the sword. At least he can defend himself, even though he's only got a stump. So that's Ares so far. Still got a long way to go. We'll just move that figure to the side. For Steve Trevor's accessories, and try not to get the figure to drop in the meantime, he comes with a shotgun. Kind of a slightly purple-gray shotgun with a brown paint down below there. It's very crude. It kind of looks like a very simplified shotgun. Even like taking out things such as a trigger, they've just removed all of that in favor of just a more simplistic-looking design. You can fit it into his hand, and actually, with the way that his posability is, you can have it where both hands are holding the shotgun, which is likely how I would display the figure. Just bring it up like that. You can display him like so. Getting a load at the figure's sculpt. Figure is done very nicely, actually. Having like a military-style jacket. And a nice additional sculpting on the interior jacket there. I like this cross-hatching that they've incorporated into the sculpt, giving just a little extra texture to the fabric, as well as his turtleneck. And he's got a pair of pants with kind of like leggings and boots there. The boots have this crude kind of slapped-on paint, but I can omit it, I should say, and overlook it just because they are shoes after all. Head sculpt is good, and actually one of the best likenesses to Chris Pine. And the only real comparison I have is like the Star Trek Captain Kirk figures, which I didn't think looked anything like Chris Pine. This one looks a lot more accurate in all honesty. The sculpt is pretty good actually for a multiverse figure. How they stack up to one another, let's look at the Cloaked Wonder Woman. So you guys can see there's the difference between the two. Obviously, big difference anyways, male, female. But yeah, good looking figures all around. Again, I just have to pick up the Queen Hippolyta. It sucked because of all the figures I would think that Toys R Us wouldn't have had, which I picked these guys up at, would have been maybe like a Wonder Woman. Now, she might have actually been more per case. And maybe Queen Hippolyta, there was only one per case. I don't really know, but I didn't get a chance to actually grab that figure at the time that I picked up the other three, with the other one that we still have to look at for the Wonder Woman there. But very happy with the sculpt on Steve Trevor here. The plastic on the jacket is a nice touch. Face sculpt and paint I think is done very well, capturing the essence of him. The paint, slightly crude in the way that it's been applied to the hair, but still at least paint has been applied and not favoring just solely a brown head, like it's just brown hair. So they gave us a little extra oomph there. Poseability on Steve Trevor. His head rotates all the way around. Shoulders hinge outward, as well as a all the way rotation on the forearm. I guess on the entire arm. Forearm, he does have a bend, as well as a rotation there, and a rotation in the wrist. So they have a fair bit of poseability. An upper torso ball joint. Nothing, it seems, oh actually there is a waist swivel. A forward and back and split on the leg. A mid-thigh swivel. And he has also got a hinge at the knee. And he also has a hinge in the foot. Normally I would say kind of like not a side character, but generally when you get multiverse figures or just figures in general, if there's like a Wonder Woman movie, you always want to get a Wonder Woman. Side characters don't seem to do as well, but I think Steve Trevor might be an exception to that rule because he plays such a pivotal role in the movie that I think it makes perfect sense to have picked him up to be displayed along with the Wonder Woman that we have right here. Also, as a side note too, I think the Ares looks pretty neat. Though he's not finished, no, but I think the sculpt so far, I'm really digging this design of him. Fine work, Mattel, fine work. Today we were checking out the DC Multiverse. This was the Wonder Woman film series. This was the Ares wave, and we were also looking at Steve Trevor. That's this figure right here. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button now. If you haven't had a chance to go back and watch some of the DC Multiverse figures that I've done a whole ton of them. Head back over and check out the playlist featuring all the DC Multiverse figures from days gone by. What do you think of this figure? What do you think of this? Do you think it's done nice? Do you think the likeness is done pretty good on Chris Pine? Weigh in your thoughts down below and we can always discuss. I love to discuss. See you later, guys. Bye.